What up, everybody? It's BDF4T4, and I'm coming at you with another video. I got locked out of Facebook. Locked out of Facebook. I said something that was against their code of conduct and offensive speech, hate speech, whatever. This is some bullshit. When you go on Facebook, you can watch people getting murdered, raped in real time. You can see offensive N words, F words. You go on some of these ABC, CBS, any news, Fox News, any of these comment sections, and you're going to see stuff that will make you question whether or not you're living in Sodom and Gomorrah before it all goes down. You know what I mean? Like, that's how bad some of these comment sections are. Now, I said something that I probably should not have said. I think that that's safe to say. I was responding to Herschel Walker's comment that was posted on, I forgot who posted it on their fan page, but they were essentially saying that Herschel said, paraphrasing, of course, that if you want to live in a place where there's no police, I can get a plane for you. Delta, you mentioned a bunch of airliners that he would be willing to buy tickets for, and he would send you there. If you want to live somewhere where there ain't no cops. But defunding the police didn't make any sense to him. Now, mind you, he used the word defunding and then proceeded to say if you don't want to see any cops. Defunding, to my knowledge, means that you just snatch some of the funding. You're not firing every cop and doing away with police entirely, but in his mind, it did. Which is relevant for what I said. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, Mr. Herschel, my response to his comments were, and I'm not quoting myself either, but this is basically what I said. These coon dudes will jump out the window for their mess. Facts be damned. What else did I say? I said, facts be damned. Something along the lines of, doesn't matter if it's about Whitey, you're wrong. And that's pretty much the gist of it. I used the word Whitey. Yes, that was probably the wrong word, but at this point, as a black person, sorry. Not really sorry, but sorry. It's just where we are, man. It's not a pretty place to be right now. People are frustrated. And I don't know. They got me 24 hours. They got me a couple days ago for something. They didn't necessarily show me exactly what it was that was said, but this time I at least knew why I was being suspended for 24 hours. I'll take it. I'm not going to fight it. Because at the end of the day, I know, just like the rest of black America needs to understand, that if you're trying to appeal to the oppressor about what matters to you, you are wasting your time. And Facebook was listed as one of the supporters, biggest donors of Donald Trump. And while I understand that that's money for the Republican National Party, and a lot of people are just siding with their white gang on a lot of this bullshit, the reality is, because they've taken that stance, based on what Donald Trump actually stands for in 2020 as of today, if you're rolling with him, in my mind, and I consider myself a very logical thinker, I really do, you are siding with the oppressor. There is no conversation about Democrats and Republicans no more. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. You want to talk about Democrats and Republicans? I want to talk about Bloods and Crips. Okay? That's how I feel. That's where we're at, as far as I'm concerned, with that bullshit. If we want to start talking about politics, I'm going to throw humanity in your face, because I don't care about politics. We can get back to these political games later. Right now, it's about humanity. Right now, it's about making sure these awful, evil Klansmen, police officers get off of the streets, that their fates are sealed by throwing them in prison or killing them, depending on if it's necessary, and seeing to it that either their funding is snatched to the point where they're throwing boxes and pins at people trying to defend themselves, or revamp the entire thing, get all of the bad guys out, get all of the people who hire the bad guys out, change all of the rules so that they are a little more humane. All these whack-ass laws that are clearly set up for white people to benefit and everybody else to suffer. Until all of that is in place, there's really no time for me to be politically correct. There's really no space for me to be within the guidelines and speech patterns of the fourth or fifth largest RNC donor contributor, or whatever the fuck you want to call Facebook, however you want to label it. They're trying to make sure that Donald Trump gets another 4 years. Donald Trump's trying to make sure that the racists have another 4 years of lynching us and keeping kids in concentration camps and all that other evil shit that he's about. And if you're about what he's about, it's not about political sides anymore. It's just not. Anytime before this, you can get away with saying that. But at this point, it's about having a bad person in office, bad people behind him, and the people saying we need a change. I'm the people. And I say, your guidelines. I'm not interested in your guidelines. I'm interested in humanity. Being in a place where we can set forth a foundation that I don't have a problem raising kids in, that other kids who are already here shouldn't have an issue raising their kids in, etc., etc. Right now, the foundation we have is shaky at best and unfair at its core. I'm not going to be kind about anything. What's there to be peaceful about? For a person like myself, an African American living in Los Angeles, California, who doesn't have a lot of money, what the fuck am I being peaceful about? You know what when a king wants peace, do you guys understand when peace is supposed to come? When you're happy. And you want everybody else to be okay with what you're happy with. Nobody's asking for peace when they're unhappy and they're suffering and they're dying. Those people, historically, aren't peacemakers unless they're conditioned to endure suffering without complaint by way of rules set by individuals that don't have their best interests at heart. That is when that happens. When a person's sitting back suffering saying, you know what, I'm nestled comfortably in my suffering and I'm too afraid to change, not only because I don't want to face a bigger bully opponent, but also because I don't want to face myself and the responsibilities that come with having more responsibilities. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's exactly what it is when you decide to no longer be under the oppressor. Then it's on you to make good decisions and to keep up the land. And a lot of people are afraid to take on that responsibility. Don't believe in themselves. Think that the oppressor would do a better job than they would. So they don't fight for change. They fight for things to stay the same. Not because they believe good will come of it, but because they're afraid that worse will come of change. So those without faith, I have nothing for them. I don't know what to say to them. I think they have legitimate concerns, to be honest, but at the same time, this is not an option anymore. This well has run dry. We got to make some changes anyway. Your fears must be faced, just like anybody else who has to face a fear. You have to face your fear. That's what I say to those coons and those individuals that don't want this to change, even though they don't have any power of their own. You don't want power. That's fine. Doesn't mean the rest of us should sit and suffer while you sit comfortably nestled in your little corner that white supremacy has provided for you. No, we don't. No. Not while people are dying. If nobody's dying, you can make a case for your bullshit. While people are dying, you don't have a case. You don't have a case. Herschel Walker, you don't have a case. There are cops out here doing evil shit. You don't have a case. A lot of us would love to live in a place where we don't have to worry about the cops doing whatever it is evil shit that they're doing. Profiling us, this, that, and the third. Pinning us against one another in these streets. Laying out circumstances for us to be coerced into throwing our lives away. Yeah, a lot of that stuff is on the people, but a lot of that stuff is just a circumstance created by the cops and their bosses, superiors, upper decks, the white Crips and Bloods, putting all this bullshit in place to throw people in prison really, really, really quickly. Black people especially, Mexican people especially. You got no time to be peaceful. What's peace? They want peace because they have what they fought for already. The fights were already had. They celebrate them with their flags. Can't you see? Bombs bursting in air. We're murderers. We're rapists. We hate everyone who's not us. Like, that's what they sing about. Yeah, they want peace. They've already fought. You think they was doing all that when it was time to bust their guns? You think they were doing all that when it was time to make demonstrations that are put and instill the fear of God in their opponent? No. They're screaming no fucking peace. They loaded up and they put their lives on the line and they died. Well, they fought till they couldn't fight anymore, whatever. They got what they were looking for. They brainwashed the people. They made sure their money was straight. And then they set rules. And when those rules were set, they instilled in you a understanding that it's your duty to follow these laws, rules. And they attach these songs and these symbols and all these flags and all this other shit to it so that your conscience would then abrupt when you step away from those rules, not questioning whether or not the rules were set by people who had your best interest in mind, not questioning whether or not the rules were being followed by the people who wrote them. No, you don't question those things. You're too busy believing in symbols, flags, hope for change, without actually questioning whether or not the people are in position. People are in position actually give a shit to see that the changes that are made are positive ones or ones that are just going to continue to reinforce the worst of the worst within your communities. You want to make America great again? When has it been great? I'll tell you when it was great. Right before they got here. Right before they arrived. The air was pure, the water was clean, the people were happy, there was plenty of livestock, there was a lot of life on this land before they came and brought their evil to it. Stuck their dick in the dirt and have told everybody since then, you either follow what we're about or go to hell. Rules are not about decency. They're about keeping you in order while we are able to continue our game of money, our game of white supremacy, our game of keeping our knees on your neck. And you will thank us for having that knee on your neck, because without that knee, you are savage creatures without a home. We saved you with our religious actions. We saved you with our guns. We saved you from yourselves, savage. Thank us for these laws. Thank us for the oppression. We have trained you to be civil. That's the bullshit they've been feeding you your whole life if you're from out here. Their laws and their rules, they're bad people who created these rules. These are not good rules. They're godless. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't think there's anything else to say. I want people to understand that you've been brainwashed for generations. Your granddaddy, your great-granddaddy was brainwashed into believing that same shit. That's why you're so passionate about it. Blue lives matter. There's no one blue. Who's blue? What skin color is that? If anything, that's a real dark shade of black. No nigga so black he blue? Yeah, blue lives do matter. You're talking about the darkest of the dark, family. If you're being honest with yourself, there's no such thing as a blue life. That's a blue job. You can quit. You can go on and do something else with his life. I can't take off my skin. It's still there. Not that I would want to, but it's just the point. It would probably be safer if I walked around white. I'm not going to be able to do that. But that badge, that comes off. It comes off. They retire. Whatever they decide. Ex-cops. They're not cops anymore if they decide to retire. Do ex-blue lives matter? What are we talking about here? No, what you're talking about is continuing to stay comfortable, nestled in white supremacy. Whatever little corner it's carved out for you. That's what you want to keep. You're afraid. So just say that. Say one or two things. If it's really, if this is what it is, because this is what I think it is. It's one or two things. I hate niggers, Mexicans, black people, people of color of all kinds, or I love white supremacy because Massa's been good to me, and I want to continue to live comfortably in his arms. Say one or two, because that's what it is. You're very comfortable in your brainwashing. You don't want to think your way out of it. You don't want to listen to anybody else. So just say that. Don't say all lives matter. You can give a fuck about a black life. So all lives can't matter. Okay? This is about you. Unlearning bullshit. Overcoming fears and accepting the fact that accountability and balance of power is what we need. Not whatever the fuck this is. My name is BDF. I don't care if you like my language in this video. I'm not looking to be nice. I'm not looking to make you comfortable. I'm looking to make things happen. With my voice, with whatever influence I can gain. That's what I'm about. I don't care about what happens to me. They shoot people like me. I don't expect to survive this shit, to be honest with you guys. If I follow down this road, I don't expect them to let me live. I'm too crazy of a mind, too reckless of a mouth for them to let me live. No, I'm not suicidal. If I was gonna kill myself, I'd have did it already. So if they get me, they got me. But understand this, I don't give a fuck. Some things are worth dying for. And my people being safe from the clutches of white supremacy, oh yeah. I wish more motherfuckers would have died for that. Maybe we wouldn't be dealing with this shit right now.